Yeah, and I like that, and, one thing that kinda comes to mind as we're thinking through this, just the feeling of being blindsided when you and your co-founder see this meeting and it's, "Oh, crap. Okay, what's happening? How come neither of us know about this? What's going on?" But in hindsight, were there any cues? Were there any clues to any of this that you're putting into place now? Like, okay, we have a team in place, we're producing for the client, we're getting it all done, but maybe we missed all of these conversations happening over here. Did you
Yeah,
think of
100%. I think what's really interesting is that what you recognize first in a situation like this is that you didn't have the systems to capture that information when it did arise. And so you start thinking back and you're like, oh, there were some things that came up, whether it was on a project by project basis where someone was like, hey, I don't have these assets or I don't have this documentation that I need to like kick off this project. We're like, oh, dang, we'll have to follow up with the client to get this, or sorry, let me pull this together. So it's that little bit of friction that kind of exists right there that isn't captured and documented. We were so busy that I was not having regular conversations in a one-on-one capacity with each of our staff members to say like, hey, how are you doing? You doing okay? It was one of those things where, hey, let's kick our one-on-one down next month. We're just really busy right now. So again, the prioritization of having those conversations and even bringing into the fold to think about, it was sort of this mentality of like, we're young, we're scrappy, we're all working really hard, we're all working together, we're all in this together. When the reality is, with some adjustments, it didn't need to feel that scrappy. You don't need to feel necessarily like this entry level startup. You can have foundations and approaches that can set you up for success. And so a lot of the learning lessons that came initially was, how do we capture this information? How do we capture if someone is unhappy or a little bit discontent? What can we do to mitigate that? How do you get ahead of something before it becomes an issue, so that again, that everyone is just open and transparent about kind of where their feelings are at the moment?